This time I'm looking at a line from one of the legends of jazz piano, the incredible Chick Corea. This comes from the tune Samba Song, taken from his album Friends. So let me play it a couple of times, then we'll pull it apart. Okay, before we analyse the line, a quick reminder, if you'd like to see a transcription of this, you'll find a link in the description down below. Okay, so this line is over an 8-bar sequence, and it's a great example of basically taking an idea through the changes and developing it. So the progression itself, got a couple of bars of D minor 9, a couple of bars of A minor 9, then a couple of bars of A flat over B flat, then a bar of G13 sus to G13, then a bar of A13 sus to A13, then we're back to the D minor 9 again. And he starts off with an arpeggio figure. So over the D minor 9, he starts on beat 3, the 2nd 16th of beat 3. So you get this idea. 1 and 2 and 3. And it's just going between the notes D and B, which is all taken from a G major triad. So with the D minor chord, this is basically, he's moving down a 5th or up a 4th and playing a major triad built off that. So over the D minor, that's the G. So it starts off with this idea. Then in the 2nd bar, he moves into a 2-octave version of this G major arpeggio. So we're going all the way from that D to that D here. And as with any line played in a different instrument, there's no correct way to finger it on the guitar. I've mentioned this a few times before. So, you know, this is fingering that works for me, but feel free to use any fingering which feels comfortable. So this idea, I'm fingering it like this. So 10th fret down to the 7th fret. And coming down the arpeggio to the G here on the 10th fret on the A string. And then going down to this D. It's a bit of a stretch down the 5th fret and then back up again. But different ways you can play this. You could put the D down here, so you get this shape. You could put B to the G down here, so you get this. You could even do it up here. So, I mean, different options you can use. So this is what works for me. So he plays this. He plays this a couple of times, initially over the D minor 9 chord. And he keeps the idea going as the chord switches to A minor 9. So again, we've got this G major arpeggio over the A minor 9 chord. So again, moving down a whole step to play major triad in this case. So keeping the idea going over those first 2 chords. Switches to the A minor 9 chord. And then he continues to come down this idea, but in this case coming down just a single 1-octave triad. Repeats 5 times. So just going from the D to the B to the G, back to the D. So the initial phrase would be 2 and 3. 1. And here the chord switches to A flat over B flat, which is essentially a B flat 9 sus chord. And for this, keeps the same idea going, but he just adapts it slightly. So he changes it to a G minor arpeggio. So he goes from, he flattens the B to a B flat. He plays that a couple of times. And I mean, that's basically the relative minor of the B flat. But also, the notes it gives us over the B flat chord would basically spell out a B flat 13 chord. So you've got the third, you've got the root, you've got the 13th, and you've got the major third. Or you could say B flat 6, because there's no 7th. And then he continues this figure, he moves into this idea. So this is straight down a pentatonic, this is straight down G minor pentatonic. This is G minor pentatonic shape 3. And then he continues down to the F and to the E flat. So this is sort of suggesting C minor pentatonic to me. So you could also suggest that the whole thing is C minor pentatonic shape 1, but adding the 9th to it. Different ways of looking at it. But anyway. And after this E flat, he goes down to the B, but B natural, and then up to the D. So this is implying G, or G7. It's kind of like a little 5-1 idea. It's a G, which would resolve back to C minor. Then he pulls off to the B flat. So again, this D. So D, C to B flat. So again, that's all C minor pentatonic with the 9th added. So apart from that B natural. So again, you could see this as being melodic minor, except obviously he hits the B flat here. And goes down to the F. And follows this with a nice little fourths idea. We're still over the A flat over B flat chord here. So this fourths idea, so he goes from the F to the E flat, then back to the F, then to the B flat. Finishing back on the E flat. So that's all fours. And then we're switching chord, moving to the G7 sus, or G13 sus. And over this, he moves into a pentatonic idea. So basically he's playing G major pentatonic, so you can see it as G major pentatonic shape 3, or to be honest, it kind of messes my head. I find it easier to think in terms of minor pentatonics. So you could see it as a relative E minor pentatonic shape 4. So yeah, over this G13 sus, he's basically playing the relative minor E minor pentatonic shape 4. And he's playing around this shape. He starts down here on the A, hammers on up to the B, then to the D, then up to the G, so that's really suggesting a G major triad. And follows this by a little simple pull-off idea. I mean, obviously he played on the piano, so he doesn't pull off on the piano. But on guitar, I'm pulling it off. Then follows that, beat 3 by E, D, B, G, so again, going down the triad. And then back up, A, B, D, to the A. It's a nice little figure, so that bar would be. It's a nice sort of little pattern idea. It's little 4-note little kind of cells. And then chord switches to A13 sus. And over the A13, kind of keeps the same idea going. He just shifts up. So he shifts up a whole step. Same shape, shape 4 of the minor, relative minor pentatonic, F sharp minor. So the last beat of the previous bar we had, and then he basically repeats exactly the same thing up a whole step. So that'd be B to C sharp, to E, to B, and follows it up, and straight up an A major triad, so C sharp, E, A, E. Then comes down, pentatonic scale from the F sharp, to the A, to the F sharp. So just looking at this little line together, those two bars, we get this. One of the things I think is really interesting about this is the sort of rhythmic displacement idea with it, because he starts off with very much kind of dugga 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 in the first bar, then he switches it around. So again, you see, like in the first bar, when he hits the high note, the G, it's the last 16th of that first beat. In the second bar, he actually sticks it on the third 16th of the second beat. So you get. So again, it kind of displaces it, moves everything around, makes it much more interesting rhythmically, and makes it sound, you know, less obvious, less predictable. Certainly rhythmic displacement ideas, definitely something I'd associate with Chick Corea. Something he does really, really well. Features a lot in his playing. He follows this after the F sharp, comes down to the E, then down to the D on the final 16th of the bar. So this is, because we're moving back to the D minor 9 here, so this is kind of anticipating that move. And then finishes off by C, D, C on the A, so that's D minor pentatonic, or a D minor arpeggio, D minor 7 arpeggio, you can see that as. And finishes up the line. So there's a bunch of great ideas in this. Okay, let's try putting this all together slowly. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, let's try this with the backing track at half speed, and we'll play it a couple of times up to tempo to finish.